Okay, hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Liberation and Unity with Grace. And I have to tell you, today I have, because you know that I am making these videos in an authentic way, that I am not doing any editing. I have to tell you that I have already started and stopped about 5 or 10 tries here. And it's because I'm struggling today emotionally. I have just stuff that's not moved through fully. I've been feeling this way for about 3 days. Maybe this is the third or the fourth day. I'm not sure. And I have been feeling heavy, emotional, like tears are on that verge all the time. And some of the days, yesterday I got a little bit of them out, and then there's more underneath, and I'm feeling it in a really heavy, frustrating way. And then what happens is that creates this energetic logjam in my being, in my communication, in my focus, and I'm I'm never wanting to be anything other than what is true. So I thought about this. I'm like, well, Grace, but still, sometimes you have to suit up and show up, and you don't need to dump your baggage on everybody. And that's fair. I mean, if we all did that all day long, ugh, who would want that? I'm not saying I'm here just to dump my baggage, okay, but I am saying that this is take number whatever it is, and hopefully this will be the one that I feel like I can put up. And what it's about is my own emotional willingness to allow myself the process of what I'm in. And I think that most of us are on a daily basis riding those waves pretty strongly. Um, and it feels heavy. It feels emotional, and it feels sometimes really dark. And then there's other times where it feels really good, and it feels lighter, and it feels, like we can allow ourselves to experience happy. And then there's also that other side of it. It's like, how do we take care of ourselves when we're not feeling the happy? And there's some sort of idea or an expectation that we should be happy. So, suiting up and showing up in spite of how we feel is one of the things I was taught in my early 20s. I probably was taught that in earlier than that, in my early teens, when I was definitely committed to being on, teams. I was basketball, volleyball, I ran track. I was in all the sports. And so you sit up and show up there. That's one of probably the first places I learned that one. And then in my 20s, I definitely learned that suit up and show up despite of how you feel or despite how you think. Act as if was a really good one, wasn't it? It still is sometimes applicable, but the more I've grown through that one, acting as if is a tricky one. So I'm acting as if I'm fine, and I'm fine. So will it make it more fine? Also, for me, I've learned to tell the full truth, and I haven't been feeling fine. So there's a part of me that's fine, but then there's other parts of me that aren't as fine as that. So the allness of me, because we talk about that here, right, on this show, the allness of me is multi feeling right now. I'm feeling emotional. I'm feeling like on the verge of tears a lot lately. There's heavy, thick energy that we're moving through. And to at least acknowledge it, to at least say, this is what's happening, this is where I'm at, this is how I feel, that lightens the load. And so, at least for me to share that with you, to be really honest and say it was a struggle to get here today. And then take after take after take. And I'm like, none of this is feeling honest. None of it's feeling right. So I had to break through my own bullshit of belief systems that I have about having to suit up and show up and be something if I'm not fully committed with my fullness, my integrity, my heart, and my soul. And at the same time, we can't always walk around and operate in the world like that. So I get that. But on the times when we can, if there is a choice, if there is an ability to say, you know what, I am struggling today. I feel heavy. I feel sad and I don't know why. If you're able to say that, at least it shifts that energy, that build up, that building of what that energy is. It starts to help it move through. It changes it, it balances itself out a little bit better. So, yeah, that's my truth today. I'm sure plenty of you are feeling that, you know. So, how do we cope with that? I'm just going to point to some of the pointers that work for me. I tell the truth to as many people as I can that can really hear me, that can, you know, love me in spite of me loving, not maybe loving myself in the moment. You know, these are those emotional waves we ride as human beings. And it's fair. It's what we go through. It's who we are. It's how we do it. I'm grateful for the ride overall. And sometimes it just gets dense or thick and sticky. And it's like, God, could I just cry it all out and then wake up and get better? And yeah, that can happen too. I've had many times like that in my life. And I've been riding this one for 2, 3 days, longer than, you know, it feels fun or feels like I'm just kind of slogging through the mud. And on those times, it is important to look for the things that work. So I will tell you what I personally did today too. I did a lot of praying. I I took a swim and I moved my body and I tried to breathe. I looked for the beauty in a bit of my backyard. I didn't even leave my house in my area, but I just, you know, look for beauty even in the ugly parts, even in the darker, heavier parts. I look for beauty. I pray for other people when I feel badly, you know, inside myself. Um, you know, there's lots of things. We can write in journals, we can do all the things, we can pray, we can talk to somebody who cares about us and who can reflect some goodness back to us or some positive things that can help to shift. You can cry, you can take a bath, you know, write, watch a funny movie, move your body. These things help. Do some deep breathing. So I wanted to point those out, and I also, you know, I sat my whole thing with here in my office. I wanted to show you the wings today, and just because I needed to see the golden wings, and I thought it would be very pretty to feel and see the beauty of the golden wings right now. It's pretty, huh? Yeah. So to think about that, we all have these, you know, golden wings of light and that we can fly higher than we thought we could. Um, and then on any given day, if we feel grounded or caught in the trees or, you know, something, that you can heal and recover and get stronger again and take flight again. So my little analogy is, I guess, perfect for me, just to not give myself such a hard time. You know, one of the other things we do when we think we have to suit up and show up and be other than what we actually are is we beat ourselves up. And geez, I've done years of that. And I just really try not to do that anymore. So I'm acknowledging it with you that, you know, we're living through a thick time. We're living through some dense energy. This week is going to be a lot of internal and inner relationshiping with ourselves and external relationshiping with the world. Some of those things are going to create necessary decisions on where we stand, literal declarations for where we stand inside of ourselves, with ourselves, and with the relationships around us. And I'm talking about, you know, really deep personal interpersonal relationships, the world relationships. Maybe that's your job, maybe that's your relationship, your spouse or your family member. We're really having to dig into our relationship right now with ourselves and the world, and that's gonna. I think that's part of what I'm personally feeling. I have Libra in my chart very strongly, and that's very much a relationship sign. And in fact, I think that we are going through the Libra. I want to say the Libra. And, oh my gosh, my mind is blank. But it's this. So that wasn't very clear. But declarations, commitments to ourselves, ways that we take care of ourselves, even when it's kind of ugly and we wish it wasn't like it is. And that, you know what, that just leads me to this next thought that I will share with you, that tomorrow I am doing a light activation for the fall equinox. So here we are in September of 2020, and we are going to go, tomorrow is when the fall equinox happens, and it's a real shift in our energy on the planet. The light begins to really change. But at the same time, there is an activation tomorrow. It's pretty strong. There's new light codes that come in. And I felt the pull, the distinct pull to do this light activation tomorrow a few weeks ago. So it hasn't been out. I guess it's just meet the people who it's supposed to be for. And what we do there is we do a lot of the things I'm talking about right now. We do breath work. We do very specific declarations, prayers, mantras, energetic downloads with sound frequency, Osairah, and the divine feminine channeling. And so it's a really, it's a special experience, actually. It's beautiful. It's really honest and true, and, you know, being very sensitive to where we are and what we're about to move through in the next 3 to 6 months. It's going to be a lot. So every time we get the opportunity to really take a deeper dive into how to hold energy, how to hold our own frequency, how to commit and make that decision on an inward basis, on a regular basis, over and over, in new ways and in the same ways, declaring and decreeing where we stand, what we are committed to. And what I'm referring to when I'm talking to you about this right now is the declaration and the commitment to love, unity, and the highest light amplification on this planet, because we are definitely going through some dark energy and dark times. And I know you know that, and I know everybody has an individual story, as well as we are kind of plugged into this collective story. But I want to point out something that's pretty interesting. Even though we are going through this very collective experience, and we can say, oh, it's all happening to all of us, it's interesting because we are all having our own individual experiences too. And I know you understand that. Here's one little pointer to this, okay? It's always funny to me when people are literally in the same experience, but they have very, very different experiences. And so the other night when California had an earthquake, we had just gotten home. My daughter was home. She was in her room, and I was going to take the dog for a walk. So I was getting his leash on and everything like that. And we were at the front door. And I walked out, I said goodbye, and I walked out, but my daughter was upstairs, and I started texting her. I said hi. I was going to go back. I was going to say, going to go walk the dog. And as I got to the curb, she texted me, oh my God, did you feel that earthquake? And I was like, when? And it had just happened. And I was literally on the ground. And I didn't feel it. And she was upstairs, and she did. And then my phone started blowing up on, Facebook and all the things. Earthquake. Oh my God, earthquake. And I just thought that was such an interesting and funny example of how we can literally be experiencing different things in the same environment. I mean, it literally happens in families all the time. One sister, one brother will say, this was my experience in my family when I was younger. And the brother or sister on the other side will say, I didn't have that experience of this or that, or my parents that way at all. And so we all come here as a soul incarnated to experience what it is that is for us. And that's such an interesting thing to ponder. So as I ponder that, I think to myself, here I am feeling a lot of heavy, dense, thick, emotional energy lately. It's been going on for 3 days at least. And some days I can get really right up and next to it and feel like I'm like popping the balloon and it's going away. But then it comes back and I'm feeling more and I'm doing all the things. I'm saging, I'm, you know, exercising, I'm swimming, I'm praying, I'm doing the things that support me to move through it. I'm talking about it. I think one huge thing that we have to do is talk about how we feel and show up authentically all the time as much as we possibly can. And that faking it till you make it doesn't really always freaking feel that great. It can work to a certain degree. But I'm not going to be faking it till I make it by discounting how I feel, because the authenticity of my feelings, they give me so much to work with, to come to know myself more, to be authentic about with others. It's a bridge. It helps me expand to be honest and authentic about how I feel with myself and with others. So, connecting all those dots for me, it's like I feel a strong vow in my life to be of service and to be 100% authentic to what is. Some of my coping mechanisms have not worked very good in my life previous to now, and sometimes now they don't work great, and I have to readjust. But telling the truth on and about myself, telling myself the truth first, being really honest with myself, is a key in the door to the freedom that I want to feel on a regular basis. So, as I say that, connecting the dots one more time, is that we are all experiencing all of these different experiences wherever you are. You have your own internal struggles, you have your own joys and happinesses, you have your own things that make you feel free and open and liberated and happy and unified with others. And then you have places where you don't feel that, or you feel lost and scared and alone, and you're working to feel those other things. And I get it, because we're all in different spots while we're simultaneously seeming to have the same sort of experience on this planet, which I just don't know if we do. So my point with that is, wherever you are and however it is that is happening for you internally and externally, love yourself, and then just really love yourself some more. This is a time for us, especially tomorrow, right now. The thickness is up for a reason. For me, I know the emotions are up for a reason. The feelings are up for a reason. And I just listen and I pay attention and I be honest with them. And I share those things with people I feel safe with where I can get the kind of reflection that helps me, navigate. And I think that that's important. And then, it is always going back to what I always say and what Osairah always says. It's you and you. It is our inner journey with ourselves. That is it. It is the most important experience. Why? Because the more you know yourself, the freer you become to be there and with and for others. You have something to give because you have transmuted the shit in yourself. You have looked at the ways that you have behaved, or the ways that you have run, or the ways that you have not been caring or loving, or all the things that we have to actually look at ourselves, how we project judgment onto others, which is really, can I just look in here and I'll start to heal this first? And then, you get freer. And when you see people in the world doing the thing you did, you have a lot more love and compassion for them. That doesn't mean you stick around. It doesn't mean you stay for being a doormat, but it means that you at least have done the work enough to know that, yeah, that's there. I see that. Been there, done that, myself too, right? I talk about that a lot because the inward journey is the purification. Once we get a lot of these things going and we're purifying with ourselves on a regular basis, one of the really great things that happens is we feel very specifically when we are out of balance, when we are off, when there's a whole lot of stuff that just came seemingly out of nowhere that now you're feeling and you got to deal with. So that's sometimes what happens for me, and it has happened today in the last days, and it's building towards tomorrow, which I'm aware of, and that's why I'm kind of calling it out on myself, because tomorrow is the equinox. We shift energies on this planet. It's an actual vibrational frequency of light, and it's quantifiable. At the same time, I'm not here to be a scientist to give the quantification or even the ancestral or the ancient, ways that people have qualified and quantified it. I just feel it. I just know it. And so with that fall equinox tomorrow, there's a kind of like a surge of energy and light that shifts us towards the change of the seasons, towards that we are going towards wintertime, that it's going to start every day incrementally seem to be getting darker for us. And on that note, the fact that I am doing a channeling and a light activation tomorrow on that day, for me, I'm purifying everything to get myself to be that kind of holder of energy. So if you're interested, tomorrow I'm doing that Equinox light activation for fall 2020. And you can find the link down below. We'll post it. I would love for you to join me if you're interested. And, at the same time, if you can't join, do your own. Open up, pray, make a declaration, listen to your inner voice. What's calling you to, melt off old ways? How are you calling yourself into a righter relationship with yourself? Listen deeply. And if you can commune with others, well, like us here tomorrow, the link will be below and you can join us. It's 12 p.m. Pacific time. And what else? Yeah, the link will be below. But the point I wanted to make is if you can't come to tomorrow's event online, then this week is a very strong week about right relationships with yourself, right relationships with your feeling and your commitment and your devotion in the world. Being, what is that? What is that for you? And listen deeply. That's what I would say about this time. Tomorrow on September 22nd, make kind of if you can't join us for the light activation, which is going to be awesome, make a declaration, make a commitment to hold a really bright column of light through your own body, mind, and consciousness through the next months, because this is sort of that change point. And I really do believe that our intentional vows and devotions and commitments really is a stabilizer on this planet at this time for how we move through time, how we're moving through day in and day out. So I hope that was helpful to you. Please just check the link on below, because at this point, after making so many videos, I honestly can't remember what I said to point to how this event tomorrow is going to be. I don't remember if I said it on this video right now or not, about whether or not, to describe what tomorrow's event is going to be like. So it'll be in the comments below. You'll get a link and check it out. And if you would like to and can join us, I would love to meet you there tomorrow. And if not, then please know that until next Monday, I am with you and thinking of you. And as a kind of an acknowledgement for the week, I thought I'd pull a goddess card as we transition the fall equinox this week. Oop, something fell, so we'll see which one that is. Ooh, Pele. Okay. Fire goddess, volcano goddess. I lived on Maui. My soul home is Kauai. The islands are a very important place for me. And Pele is incredible goddess, and her card here says divine passion. Be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? You know, I'm going to read the whole thing for the week. We're going to think about that. That's what I would say and suggest if you want to return to the thoughts of this, because here I was talking all about being honest with ourselves and really being in integrity with how we really feel and sharing that instead of faking it all the time, or, you know, running the programs that the world says, you know, we have to do it like it's, you know, I think those days are up. I think authenticity and integrity is the way. And so that card, let's read it. Message from Pele. If you listen to the sound of your heart and breath, you'll recognize the ancient rhythms of your own internal drumming. This forever connects you to the mother of all creation and to the sound of planet Earth. These rhythms can't be faked or forged. They're natural and eternal. What part of you are you trying to ignore? What part of you has been overly concerned with pleasing others to the detriment of hearing the sounds of your own rhythm? Dear child, reach out and extend your arms to embrace your dreams. They're just as much a part of nature as are the trees, animals, and sunsets. Don't your own dreams deserve the same respect that you accord everyone and everything that you love? Listen to them, my child. Listen to your dreams. They'll activate the powerful eruption of passion in your life. Don't be afraid of your own passion, for it will propel you naturally and will excite and invigorate you. When you dance to the rhythms of your life, you're truly alive in all ways. Wow. And for those of you that don't know, Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes. Pele's dynamic strength is sometimes misunderstood. She knows us that fire, she shows us that fire can purify, release us from the old to make way for the new and ignite our passions. Without fire, nothing would change. Call upon Pele to help you get in touch with your true passion and to change up your motivation and excitement. Pele will help you feel everything on a deeper level. So be unafraid of taking action to manifest your heart's desires. I am always amazed at this process of the cards, the things I talk about, the connections. It's not synchronicity to me. It is the natural order of things. And, you know, I'm very keenly aware and talk about it often about stepping into the fire of transformation and transmutation, and how that's a real thing. It's what melts us down, brings us into death, on many different levels and different ways and different times and different cycles, and brings us a rebirth. And, you know, I'm also keenly aware of the last Monday, not last Mondays, but the Mondays before, when I had a one-on-one conversation here like this. It was on a Monday. That was just before Oregon's fires went completely insane. And I was aware of it then the next day, how I had talked about the fires of transmutation at the end of that particular video. And then how so much more of California, Oregon, and Washington just went crazy with these fires. And I felt the heaviness of that all. And at the same time, having gone through fires myself, and knowing literally that I've had gone through fire, having to be evacuated a couple of times in my life, and knowing people who've lost a lot in fires, that fire is powerful, and it's almost like we have to become fire walkers to hold a greater ability to hold the light. It's a big thing, and I feel that to my bones. You know, I feel my own fires of transformation and transmutation in my life very specifically, and I acknowledge it with great reverence and great respect. And I also know that things bloom again, and we are born again very often through those fires. And so being honest with yourself is the conversation that I was having with you so far today. I was being honest with you, and I was being honest with myself to say, God, I was having a hard time getting here, being authentic, being in my own truth, and allowing myself to be as raw and real as it is for this moment. And that sends me through the cycle of the process that liberates me to the other side, where I don't feel as held down and stuck and gunky. And sometimes we just have to cycle through those things, you know? And so I hope that Pele supports you in your desires and your growth and your acknowledgement on how to be honest with yourself, and then how to make it through that, how to stand up and have a declaration for your own truth and your own life and your own commitment as we are moving through this week, shifting our inner landscape, our inner dialogue with ourselves, our inner within relationship, because that is going to be in effect with the outer relationships and the outer life that we experience. It's such an interesting thing to me that I did not feel the earthquake at all, and my daughter did. And we were literally in the same place. And that means to me, we are all having this such an interesting experience being in the world and experiencing a collection of things that are the same, but so much that is not the same. And so how do you come into right relationship with you and you in order to hold and anchor a higher consciousness and a higher light and a higher love within yourself? That is what the world needs. No matter what we are individually experiencing, no matter what we go through, we can add that in, and there is that felt. It'll hit somewhere, it'll land somewhere, it'll connect, you'll feel better. The world will be touched by your energy field, having done this kind of work, to do this inner looking, this inner work on listening and caring about how do you feel. And if you feel like shit, you acknowledge it and you move through it, and you be honest and you be tender and you love yourself some more and you forgive yourself and you be more and more honest, because that's the way out of prison. My goodness, I just know it for sure. So I'm a living testament of that today, because I was sort of trapped in my own prison of belief that I had to bring something that was so magical and so big and so intense and so happening. And I was so not feeling that. And I was feeling just heavy and tired and emotional, and I wanted to cry, and I still do sometimes. It's like I'm riding these waves, and it's a lot. So my ramblings today, I hope they help you wherever you are and wherever it is that things come up. Our commitment to our inner experience of loving ourselves and the devotion that we are taking a stand for in this world right now is everything. And so I hope that this moment serves you, and my truth and my honesty has served you in some way, that there was something that lands and helps. And I hope that if it feels right, you might join me and the community of light in a circle of light for the Equinox light activation tomorrow. And so I appreciate you. I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing and being a part of this community and on my channel with YouTube here now. And thank you so much. And I'm truly, truly grateful. I look forward to seeing you next Monday, or seeing you live and in person, connecting actually on the webinar tomorrow for the 2020 Fall Equinox Light Activation, which is going to be awesome. Breath work, vows and intentions and declarations, channelings with Mother Mary, the Divine Feminine, the Mother voice, and the support and the heart and the honesty and the truth and the power of that is so profound. And of course, our wonderful Osairah and me, and we'll do breath work, and we'll do meditation, and we'll do prayer, and we'll do high frequency sound and vibration and all the goodies. So I'm just letting you know. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just saying this is what we do. This is what I do. This is what we're going to do. If you can join me tomorrow. And if you can't, do that for yourself. Create it for yourself. Be in that connection and that field with us, even if you're not live and on it with me and the community. Do it with us right where you are. Make it up. Be in alignment. Be in love. Be in connection. Ground, balance, and center. Ground, balance, and center, and call in your highest devotion to living on this planet and being the greatest version of yourself each and every moment. And even if it feels like that sucks and I want to cry and I want to run away and I don't like this and I'm tired and exhausted, that's how I've been feeling. Acknowledge that, move through it, and anchor, come back to the center, hold the light, love yourself, and really, really, really come back in again and love yourself a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more, a little more. So until next Monday or tomorrow, all my love and blessings and gratitude. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.